Good evening, Free Enterprise fans. Welcome. And we have another exciting table round race for you between actual JP, 0-4, and Zilch, who is 4-1.
Alright, and I'm in Phineas, and this is going to be a very interesting race. Even though there's nothing on the line, I know if I was in JP's position, I'd really want to get that first win. Whereas Zilch being at 4-1, given his strength of schedule, is actually unable to get into the draft phase, but really would want that 5-1 record just to enforce his skill at the game. So, Commander, what are you looking forward to in this race?
I like seeing the Eddie start. Edward's a character that just doesn't get enough time on this stage, and I'm glad to see that our runners have to bring him along and figure out some use for him. Hopefully, we'll see something more than keeping him on the floor at 60 hit points the whole game.
I mean, I would imagine it'd be a struggle considering our objectives low. Like, we do have to complete the antline nest, so highly likely that Eddie's going to get XP from that. We do have to complete Gate Bahamut, which is on the moon, so maybe he might be on the floor by then. But we also have to trade away the Pink Tower, and we have no idea where that could possibly be. So, I don't expect, unless being sprawled out in a very specific way, I do not expect to see Eddie on 68 hit points. Maybe 100, but definitely not 60.
Well, we shall see.
So I was just going to remark on the objectives. So we had originally robots, koala, lion, bunny. Okay, that plays.
Yep.
So what are we hoping for again? No, what would you hope for if you see Eddie start and you see these objectives? What would you want to see as your possible partner and a starting item?
Typically, anytime Rosa is not my starting character, that's who I want to see walk through the door. Rosa is my 100% will take right away. Could also go for Tella, especially since a Darkness Crystal is going to be almost required. You could get around that if you forge. Tella is very good for the D machine. As far as the item,
You know what?
I'm a Cell fan. Give me an excuse to take him.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go bold and spicy. I want to see a DKC, but a starting crystal sword.
Ooh, I like it. I like that a lot.
But yeah, it looks like we're about to find out what it's going because we are underway.
Yep. And it's double.
Oh, double! Oh my! Well, we have
and
1,
Mylon
2 Princess
handing
here
over
before
a quick
you.
sand ruby.
Well, what? Why were you not letting the second? Okay, actually, that's fair.
Unsurprising.
Alright, but at least we got the sand ruby. At least we got the sand rubies. So the good news for our runners is at least we got a sand ruby, so we actually have another out to get a very good character. And because it's S standard, this could be the rare seed where we get an early edge. I think.
Yeah.
Gated
by Kia.
I would, if I was the runners, I'd probably gun straight that. I'd probably go to the water pass area and gun straight to Kaipo first, just to make sure if it's an edge, because that would be a huge leg up, and that's early game unlock completely.
Yep. And sure enough, actual JP is landing right between the Watery Pass and Kaipo, but he's going to take care of Watery Pass first. It's just fair. You might find something to sell right away, or you could be.
That's fine.
Steve, who knows?
Meanwhile, Zilch is doing the Evelyn Castle check. I think that's what he tends to prefer, mostly because he really wants to know what his loot options are. So expect a whole bunch of looting and resetting on his end.
That is the way it goes there. Kane is hanging out in the Watery Pass, so that's quick done.
Alright, Zilch runs into the Mad Ogre chest, so got to reset out of that because I don't think an Eddie can handle that much punch.
There's nothing here Eddie can do. Actual JP is rewarded by going a little further into the Watery Pass than some people live. Finds an Hourglass 2 under the waterfall.
Oh, an hourglass too. That's huge. That'll enable him to cheese some early fights as well. Um, yeah, just very useful item. Not gonna see it in any shops because unless it's in I guess the cool shop. And that is a Rydia in the bed, so definitely going to increase the hit points by about 30 if we pick her up.
90 hit points is denied. Although we have Kane around, so
Yeah, so that's like 160, right?
something
A bit
like
more
that.
than that.
JP going ahead and grabbing that Kane early. Can't blame him with an Edward start. Do want some help, but gotta find something for that Kane to make him useful. Spear is not good.
Yeah, base spear is very bad, and I know I'm not. I don't think I would have taken that Kane at that point. I'd rather see my options first because we still have 1, 2, 4 characters to check at that point. So I might have just held off on that Kane, personally.
Yeah, probably would have to be honest. It's a hard which is better than a spear.
Well, yeah. We're setting a very high bar here, not wanting a spear. So
Right.
and you know what the worst thing about spear?
You can't throw it.
Exactly. Why would you deny the ability to discard this piece of trash? Come on, game.
You cannot throw it. It's barely worth to sell.
Ooh.
That curse string is huge.
Yeah, that's what I just saw on on zilch's side. But it's also looks like there's 2 of the monster chests on the right side. So a lot of looting on that, a lot of resetting just to get that curse ring. But I don't know. It also means it saves searching curse rings in the future. So it's actually still a big find. Oh, I also didn't notice that Zilch also managed to loot an Elven Bow. That's also going to be huge because that's going to make Eddie actually useful in the early game.
And Zilch
you also find
Hourglass, yeah.
Yeah, that's also again. So we're currently at 1-1 on Hourglasses, so that's always good. That's quite good to know.
But also in the meantime, actual JP found a Sylph summon in the basement of Damsian Castle, and he's already seen Rydia.
Ooh. Yeah, I think that would be that to me. That's the trigger to pick up that Rydia. Give me a Sylph, and then give her some levels, and that's early. That's easy early game. Actually, I'm curious. Did JP actually trigger the San Ruby cutscene, or just leave Rydia there?
No, he just left Rydia there.
Huh. I think I might have considered just triggering the cutscene. Only just give myself the option if I want to pick her up, because at this point it's going to be too much of a hassle to go around and come back to, or it might be too much hassle to go back to Kaipo just to pick up that Rydia.
We will see how.
Meanwhile, we had a French vanilla Porom. She was in the wrong spot, but we're definitely taking a white mage, so we're good to go. Oh no, didn't take it. No, my bad.
Did not turn Porom aside for now. Still has the ordeals check. Might be still holding out hope for Rosa. And
yeah,
leaving Cecil behind for now.
I mean, those make sense. Given the vanilla agility and with no guarantee to actually get a good weapon,
yeah.
Cecil, not taking Cecil kind of makes sense at this point in time, anyway.
Yeah, as big a fan of Cecil as I am, I don't like dragging a Dark Knight up.
Sometimes you do what you got to do, right? I mean,
yeah.
If we had, yeah, the fact that we actually haven't found any our top tier characters for early game, like a Sid or a Palom, this could be a very sketchy early game.
Yeah, we finally get Rosa, so that helps.
Well, yeah, you definitely like to see Rosa. I imagine we're taking her, right? Yeah, we took the Rosa. That makes sense.
Yeah, Zilch will be much faster to take her with that Elven.
Well, yeah, it's true. That's true. Although Elven Bow would also have been fine, given that we had Edward, who can also use both. So
yes.
But just having access to white magic in the early game, just trying to get her to berserk or blink, the cure spells. That's always going to be a fun thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. JP's going to be the first one to go after the antlion nest.
Well, it is an objective. You know, we should be
Right.
doing our objectives. So
I guess an objective or something. I mean, weird.
I mean, if it would be very tempted to fade it, but no, it would be a mistake.
Don't phase your objectives. The only excuse for not going in after an objective, well, two excuses. First excuse, you can't get to it. And your second excuse is, well, it's just too tough for you. It will take too long.
Can I have the excuse? I forgot. Well, I misread the objective. I thought I had to do Mount Waterfall, not Antline Cave, Antline Nest.
Ah. I mean, misreads happen. Go and then realize, oh, it was the muscle movie.
Yeah. Actually, some interesting picks up in the save room. We're in getting a bandana and a headband. That's going to be very helpful for this early game because it enables Archeros to do a whole bunch of damage, as well as this cane. Because it's better than an iron helmet.
Yeah. They both will add 5 to strength, which stands a good chance of getting you an extra attack roll. You get 1 for every 8 points.
Yep. And with so it looks like we've got Ice Brand. So this cane is kind of online for early game.
Yeah, I missed that Ice Brand. That's legit.
Yeah,
that's legit early to mid game.
Yeah, like we might it wouldn't surprise me if this is. So you know how I was saying that I highly doubt we're going to get any levels on 80. Yeah, that might be the exception. We might actually get levels on 80 now. And meanwhile, we have a easy fight. It's Mega Sisters. Yeah. No, this should not be a problem here.
Yeah, shouldn't be too bad. The hit points are divvied up.
Ooh, interesting. So we just found a teller, and it's Mount Hobsop fighting a Dark Knight Cecil. So
yeah, but Tella's got 340. He's fine, and
it's fair.
First wave.
And Edward just took 1 hit and then hid, which is I guess from Zilch's perspective, considering Edward's probably going to be the main damage dealer of the seed. Yeah, it makes complete sense. Oh, things going.
Yeah, actual JP discovering that a big bomb actually reflects.
Oh, okay, sure. And that's kind of, on one hand, that's kind of awkward. That means that the sisters respawn, but yeah, some extra levels is not the worst.
Sisters is not where one wants to do an XP grind usually.
Well, no, it's depending on the spot, it's fine. It's just that this is probably not one of them.
Yeah, but fortunately, Kane's wearing Dragoon gloves, so that's going to make him actually a bit tougher.
Yeah, exactly. Having that elemental resistance means that this is not going to be a problem at all. And I actually think this was actually crucial because I don't think JP actually saved until a bit later than you would have thought. So I don't recall him seeing save in the save room. So this was a bit clutch there. And hey, Edward did not gain any levels from that fight because that's fair.
Oh, that's half a forge.
Ooh, that's interesting. Half a forge, getting closer to X-Scale. We do know there's a Cecil in the seat somewhere, so if we want to go with Berserk strats, it might be a thing. But yeah, that is one objective down for JP, and Zilch is just hot on his heels.
Alright. Zilch got through, picked up Tella, has a life staff for that Tella. I'm not sure where he got that. I'm going to assume Evan Castle.
Yeah, I would also assume Evan Castle too.
Keep that on hold until Zilch finds a true white mage. And the in these magic systems. Bam!
That. So what's JP doing here? I don't. Back in Kaipo. I'm not sure.
Well, maybe finally picking up his Rydia and checking on shops while he's there.
I mean that's a good theory. I think there's also some decent arrows in here. Yeah, some light and whites. That's not bad, but didn't buy any.
Okay, nope, he's just shopping.
Okay, interesting. But I think the fact that Zilch has picked up a Teller You just no. I think that's going to really surge him ahead, even though he's only got 2 characters right now. Like that, having access to exit, no, is going to be big. I think.
Yeah, be interested to see if he picks up Porum, knowing that Rosa, since we know that Rosa's waiting on to ordeals, because then if he picks up Porum, the question then becomes what he does when he sees him. So let's see how this plays.
Yeah.
JP doing a little retracing finds Dark Knight Cecil. He'll be through this just as easily.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
he's now got 4 people in his party, only room for 1 more.
yeah. So in that case, I do not. Actually, I think the interesting thing with how things are currently set up is that I'm not sure you actually. I think you'd much rather this, if I was JP, pick up the Yang as opposed to the Rydia, because and only because you've already picked up Kane. The one exception is if you find a very good sword for Cecil, we take Cecil instead and slingshot him at the end game. Just because that is going to be, because we have that anchor Edward already. Not you might actually be leveling your Teller at this point, because he's going to have to do a lot of work in the Z fight.
Yeah, and both of the characters mentioned there, Riddy and Yang, really benefit from a slingshot, so it's possible that actual JP will try not to pick either of them up until he has a Darkness Crystal and he's ready to be money.
Yeah, so Zilch foresaw the future, knew that there was going to be a Rose there, and grabbed that instead of picking up the Porum. Yes, also the fact that Zilch has a Curse Ring is also a decent difference as well, because it means that he can also just level up Cecil, Edward, or Teller as need be.
Yeah, he can fix his anchoring situation whenever he needs to. It's a huge find, without a doubt. And he gives us our first look at the Mylon and Friends boss, and it's an evil one, which is like barely even naughty.
It also barely makes sense. We're in a ravine of some sort. How's there a wall here?
I mean, if I was going to put a wall trap that was on rushing at people, I would put it on a bridge where they couldn't jump out of the way.
I mean, that actually makes sense, but I guess given the positioning, it actually makes sense that it's coming. The wall is coming at you. Meanwhile, we have Vanilla. We have an a gauntlet in football. You love to see that.
Yes, Trino. A big bridge would be a great place to have an evil wall. Perhaps we could cue up some epic music for that fight.
I do love that song. I think it's my favorite FF song of all time.
And Chad is pointing out that in FF12, yes, you're wandering along a bridge, you come up to a door, and all of a sudden a wall comes at you. You go through the door, oh hey, there's another wall.
Yeah, good to see our tracker Trino agrees with my assessment that of Battle of the Big Bridge being the best FF song. Don't at me.
I'm not gonna at you. It's a great song.
So while we've got a bit of a break here, because JP is going through, I think this is fight 3 of the Old Gauntlet, and there's a big wall on the other side. Yeah, just feel free to. I just want to give a shout out to our runners. They're putting a good show for everyone at the start of this. Please give them a follow. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And because it was easy to get to this phase. You just had to be very, very good, or in my case, very lucky, and and just to get, and these are not easy flag sets at all. It's very challenging.
Yeah, even though I didn't get this far, I've done a fair amount of races on them, and yeah, it's a thing, to be sure.
So I guess the question is Zilch going to be able to get through in time before crash phase?
I haven't been counting his damage, but the numbers I'm seeing off of those 2 arrow planks are not encouraging.
Don't forget the bonk. We can't forget the bonk stick. That's a bit.
True.
That's another 60.
Good thing too, based on these arrow shots.
So we're basically looking at what 180-ish per cycle.
Yeah. And crush phase.
Well, at least it had the decency to hit the Rosa, who was doing the 20.
And he's through. Nice.
Ooh, that must have.
Edward Hyde strats. Once he's at crush phase, that won't do you any good.
Yeah, just managed to get enough damage through. That was actually very clutch.
Yeah, nicely done. Definitely saves. Doesn't want to risk dealing with that again. Can't blame him.
Yeah, well, we sunk that much time into an evil war fight. Yeah, you definitely don't have to do that again if you happen to run into, I don't know, a Valvalis at this point. Or we can have bonus round. That's interesting. This is actually one of the nicest spots to get bonus round. Because, Threemus getting extra turns doesn't really matter too much. Because you'll eventually be able to catch up and heal up, patch yourself up. It just means you get hit a few more times.
Yeah, this is going to take a while, but Zilch is not going to have any trouble getting through this. He's going to have plenty of time to set up blinks and set up slows when D-Mist comes back after the first poof, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. So, Commander, do you like random encounters?
Yes. Why do you
Because, well, JP just finished the Full Ball Gauntlet, which is basically, in this fight set, 5 random encounters, and we got a Siren.
Okay. Oh, I hate a Siren on table flags. You're not going to find them anywhere in the game except local shop or random key item check or in a chest somewhere. So, have your Siren. It may well be the only one you see.
Look, I've definitely used my fair share of Siren to make sure that our characters at a very good point. Yep.
Pesky yellow choco.
Was I trying to make sure Upco was a thing?
I think JP wanted to find the item, but wasn't quite sure what it was, and decided to get out of there.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And yeah, Trino's pointing out that Sirens are clutch if you have a rude hook. Absolutely. Also nice if you get underground and you just need that extra boost from a quick dragon egg to get to whatever boss you're considering going after.
Well, here's the thing though, right? We have something we may not... The one time we may actually see King Ryu grind, because we also have 1 Hourglass.
Yeah, that's a solid combo.
The rare time we actually do get that's amazing.
Funny thing is, our runners each got an Hourglass in different locations.
Yeah, that's the best bit.
There's Hourglass.
Here's your glass. Here's our glass.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised I haven't been given newspapers for that. That was really bad. That's saying something.
It's not just your glass. It's our glass, too.
Ah, yeah. No, true. It is. You're right there.
Yep, we're going to keep doing this all race long. There's no stopping this.
Well, at least we don't have Oscar, because I'm pretty sure she would mute us if we did. Hey, isn't Baka Shinobi in the other comms? Okay, never mind. He's gonna get muted at some point. So we can see on JP's side he's successfully making sure his anchor is an anchor for the rest of the time.
Yeah, he even went out of his way to knock him down. Said, I can deal with this evil wall. I'm gonna make sure you fall down.
Yeah, this is actually probably the one fight where I don't think recall make. Oh, does it? Oh wait, recall doesn't trigger the counter. Interesting. I did not know that.
The only thing that does trigger the counter is fight. I've seen spells whiff. I've seen Kane come flying through the air and land. I think it's strictly a fight counter for Demus.
No, I was talking about the evil wall counter that petrifies.
Oh, the evil wall counter. That I didn't
Yeah.
know. That I definitely
Yeah.
did. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, this is probably the point where we recognize that just having a physical fighter at this point has proven to be a blessing, because you can see the damage that JP has done to this evil wall, and compared to how Zilch barely got through this fight. I actually think there's going to be one more swing from this edge. Kane, yeah, we're through.
Yep, and JP does not see Crush Phase.
Yeah.
So he's making up ground already, and will probably make up more ground on that Demus.
Yeah, this is actually one of the more interesting discussions that was held. I don't know, to think about in terms of this flag set is, at what point do you actually take your fourth character? Do you want to be greedy and slingshots two characters or one? And I think this is probably proving the case where just slingshotting, one might be worth it if it gets you through the early game that much quicker.
Yeah, that's been the tension on table flags from day one when people started practicing them, is trying to get through as much of the overworld as possible, but also, as you're pointing out, as efficiently as possible, versus keeping flexibility versus vis-a-vis slingshots and also just forming your final party. Yeah, Demus is not impressed by your ice spell.
You call that a nice spell? Let me show you. Cold Mist.
Yeah, 300 some odd damage from Kane is far and away beyond anything that Zilch is able to muster, and Kane's not even jumping. Those are just swings.
Yeah, so I think that's like one. I think that Demus has taken 1k already, whereas I think the Zilch's one might have just gone to that point.
Yeah, I think JP's going to finish this fight first. And we still don't know how to get on. I mean, it could be here. It could be the Demus to check. It could be Baron in, or those could open up something else on the overworld.
I'm sure we're all hoping for music. Let's be real here. We're all hoping for music.
Absolutely, that's what we want. Let's start with Eddie. We should get music. Seems only right.
Oh, okay. Zilch is now through. Saved by the fact that he had some J items apparently, so might be good to go here.
To use them. Good job by him. He'll be giving.
But I can't imagine that JP's too far behind though. Like,
nah.
I don't remember the exact hit point totals for this Demus, but it should be plenty.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000.
Yeah, so I can't imagine it'd be too many more cycles for actual JP. Admittedly, I might be greedy and try to sync up my my jump to land before the phase change but that'd be me being ambitious.
Maybe. Oh, and he's through. But I missed the
Magma Key. We have our way underground.
Okay, that gets us underground fast.
And a free fight down here. That is the King Queen Evelyn slot. You hate to see that here because
this is the worst place to see King Queen Evelyn.
Yeah, because you have to sit through this. You wish it was on say, I don't know, Cape Bahama.
Right.
It's kind of rude, but you still have to sit. You're not at a point where you can sit through the cut. You have to fight through the cutscene, or you're torn to which way is quicker.
Yeah, actual JP can probably cut down King Evelyn and save some time. Not sure if Zilch can, but he's certainly going to make the effort.
I don't think he can. I don't think that's enough damage numbers. Like that's.
He needs about 500 points to get the job done. Oh, there it is.
Okay. But then the question is, was that actually quicker? Whereas I think for actual JP, that's going to take I don't know, maybe a couple swings from this cane.
Yeah, by the time we get back around to Kane's second action, the king's going to be going.
Yeah. So now the world has opened up. What what do you do first, there, Commander?
My standard magma route goes like this. Go to Chamra, visit the Job Dwarf, check the shops in there. Go to Feymarch. This early, I would save and loot the cave for the higher chance of high value loot, in addition to looting the town. Take a look around Feymarch in general, the shops, the bosses, the key item, of course. Then get out unless Feymarch is super free, set up a Sheila 1, and go straight back to.
Okay. I think if I was in this mode, I might just do one thing before doing all that.
And that is?
Check my demist, because should not forget, because we just did defeat that.
Indeed. You gotta check your demist, and that's real easy to forget as part of an ordeal. So that's
exactly.
And go underground.
Yeah, Zilch remembers, so that's good. No. Zilch remembers, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Good. Yeah. Ooh, it's another key. It's a key item at least, but Luke, it does open up the classic trapdoor grind.
Yeah, which is a bit of a
and that's about it.
You already have Tella.
Oh no, I would think that having Tella makes the trapdoor grind a lot more interesting, because at least because at the very least it's you can anchor your Tella and then have your well, not anchor Tella, anchor someone else and have Tella cast the wall in time.
Yeah, if you want to do the best trapdoor grind, having Tella around is very useful.
Yeah.
Tella also means that you quite possibly have a D money coming along, and that may make you not want to consider trap grinds at all.
I mean, that's true. But the flip side to that is, for me, is more like if you really need the levels, if you don't have Darkless, it's a good option.
Yeah, if you get stuck and you've already popped your Siren on a Dragon Egg, then sure, give it a go. JP is going to take Baron in fight before diving underground.
I mean, I don't mind this too much, mostly because I really don't want, the small part of me really hates doing Sheila 1 without the pan. Just especially if I've already done for Bull. For Zilch, it makes sense to not do this, because he's actually faded for Bull for now, and it has kind of been rewarded in doing so.
And you know what I think every time I hear someone say that? I think, wow, I love vanilla pants.
Oh yes, vanilla pants would recommend me at some point, but I don't hate it as much as I won't check it. It's just that I really don't like doing it.
Words hard.
Words hard, yes.
Please
veterinary assistant.
Thank you.
Veterinary assistant. So yeah, we have validated our seed at least. We also see a poison axe, which would be good if we were considering doing a Mac Giant grind. But since we have a Teller, that's probably not on the books at this point.
Probably not. And Zilch job dwarfing, checking shops, going to Feymarch. Doesn't look like he's going to loot the cave though. Looks like he's just moving.
Yep. Looks like JP is just head to Agart. Looks like they're going to drop the magma key. Hasn't checked Demus yet, but to be fair, it is easy to forget that you've done Demus in amongst those checks.
Yeah, that's happened to me so many times.
Yeah.
Very real danger.
Yeah. Very unfortunate that he'd end up taking that wipe against Plague. Probably didn't think to cast that a Star Veil to start off with, because Plague is in fact very, very slow there. But in that panic moment, it's easy to forget the minor things like that.
Yeah. And
so it looks like there was an apple in the Feymarch freebie chest. So So we can give. Was it gold or silver? Because that means we can give our Eddie 110 hit points.
It was gold. It's our reactions.
Ooh. Ooh, 160 hit points then. Better, even better.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a silver apple, so it's 50. All right.
Oh, it was gold. My bad. It is gold? Okay.
Yeah.
AU for gold, AG for silver. It's because those are the atomic creations for those elements in the periodic table.
Yeah. No. Gold is said to be auspicious after all, right?
Gold, yeah, a bit auspicious. It augurs well.
It augments people's wealth.
Yep, and yes, and those are the Latin names for the elements, and that's why the periodic table agrees. So.
Okay, this is going to be a random aside. I know it's not related to free enterprise, but you know why Mercury is HG?
Because it just wants to give you a hug.
It's kind of liquid, so it's hard to hug Mercury. Also, it's kind of poisonous, so I'm not sure I appreciate a poisonous hug.
Hugs for Mercury, kids. Don't try this at home.
Ooh. This is okay.
Hypo guards.
Did Zilch actually know this was here? When he saved? Well, alright, so he's through. Well.
Yeah. Have a quick stone.
I'd say a stone cold killer, but they don't actually die, they just get turned to stone, which you can't life glitch people who get turned to stone.
Well.
And he is rewarded with a sorcerer robe, which is going to be good for our
sorcery, so that's appropriate.
Yeah. Yep, going straight on our Rosa, on our Archer Rosa. She's going to be doing a lot of work this seed, I think.
Yeah, you want to be as a back in table to see a sorcerer robe. You're probably going to find 2 or 3 of those casually lying around in chests, but here on table, that's a very nice fight.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Active JP not going to take that fight. Not going to be punished too badly because it was just a sorcerer robe and XP, but. Look at that sync. We've done a whole bunch of different things, but they're just all on top of each other.
Now to set up that Sheila 1, we can find out the first half of that lovely question. Does Sheila have the goods?
Yeah, so I guess I'm not even sure what I'd hope for if I was any of our runners. Maybe Legend Sword?
Anything, a Legend Sword would be great. I'm forging Excalibur, I can go grab a Paladin. But honestly, I'm happy with anything that opens the seat up. I really, with this party, even with Kane over there, am not thrilled with the idea of having to go after Dwarf Castle or Top of Tower or that Karate. I'd really like to open up another check somewhere else. Or dive in.
I agree with that. I think that all makes sense. I think maybe Earth Crystal would be really good because that just gives you access to a whole bunch of decent gear and also opens up and gives you more options to know what characters you should take. So if you actually see like a Leviathan summon, for example, then you were taking that Rydia and then popping a Siren and just that.
Yeah. Earth Crystal's always very good for answering that question. Or it could just be a Darkness Crystal, the thing we really wanted all along.
Oh boy. Okay. So now, we have an interesting thing going on. So I guess now the question is: do we know where ethers are? Do we know where life potions are? Do we grind now? I grind now personally. Like, you have your party is not great.
Yeah.
And you can slingshot Iridia or Yang.
And
your choice.
Yeah, and importantly, it's that thing of, if I'm in these runners' positions, I was just sitting here thinking, wow, I really hope I don't have to take these spots on. I'm not ready. Darkness Crystal says I better go get ready now.
Well, I guess for me the other reason I just grind now is because we know that we need to do Cave Bahamut. So my perspective is at the very least is do our grind right now, and then afterwards do Cave Bahamut and see where things go from there. If it's Legend Sword on Cave Bahamut, that's go mode, because we do not need to get our hook or pink tail.
Yeah, always do your objectives because you never know when they have more objectives ready behind them.
Exactly. So yeah, I immediately do that grind. So interesting. I know that Zilch just reset out of his first attempt at the football corner. I think wasn't happy with the setup, so he's just going to try set up.
I've seen some comments in chat about Zilch's battle speed. He might not have turned it back up after a fight earlier.
I thought he did. I recall seeing him do that as soon as he exited out of Fame March, so I don't think that's the case.
Then I don't know. Well, I've got some cabins for you on the moon.
Yeah, surprisingly, I'm not actually much of a fan of cabins in this scene. In this flag set.
Usually take a couple in case I end up with a protracted moon hunt. There's a good chance that somewhere in the midst of clearing Ribbon Room or Masamune, that general area, there's a good chance I'm going to need a rest.
Okay. I don't know. I guess my perspective is that I just don't want to take the time to have to take an action with a very powerful character to take out my my anchor.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
So let's find out who is our moon character. And I imagine if it's a Palam, we're slingshotting Palam. If it's not Palam, I have no idea who we're slingshotting here on JP's side.
Yeah, there's several good options, and it largely just depends on what sort of party JP is most comfortable with, and I don't know that answer. I'd slingshot a second Rosa. Wouldn't hate it. It'd be unusual.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate
it.
Oh,
just resetting out. Hoping he doesn't have to actually enter the LST. So he saved all the way back down on Earth.
No, I do like this. I like for what it's worth. Like, yes. He didn't find anything good on the. He didn't find anything good on the moon. You didn't find a valuable character. Yeah, let's just not bother with this and just go for something else. Which
counters.
Going back to the Baron Inn. Is he trying to get the Rydia back? The Rydia? Like,
might be who he plans on slingshotting. Though he's got.
We know we have.
But maybe he just wants to make the key item check alongside. Forgot to heal. This. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I've never seen that happen. So I'm pretty sure what just happened there is Kane was all set up to take a swing at Edward, and Octomom got in the way and knocked Edward down, and so Kane still needed to swing at somebody and just took the next convenient target.
Look, we all know that Kane is a traitor, right? This is just proof positive of that, right? I mean,
right. Rosa of all people. Wow.
Yes, exactly. It's almost canon.
I mean.
Yeah, but I also think that actually JP is now set up a lot better for this fight, for the upcoming fight, because he's set his battle speed to 4, so he can. I'm pretty sure that's so he can get the count kill on by star valuing with Kane and just going and they're just I guess berserking Rosa.
We'll see how it goes for him. That was a quick buffer. does not throw a quick star veil, but you know, Plague actually floats, and
It's true.
these arrows, so we're
Yep.
going to see Berserker Eddie carry the day.
Never thought to see that day.
Have a
Where-
spoon being involved.
Exactly.
And yep, you called it. JP does, with the lower battle speed, get the veil in. So he's got that. And plus, Rosa's just veiled. So even if Plague doesn't count himself out, which JP doesn't seem to be waiting for, Plague is going to see the veiled Rosa without a count, and will just keep trying to refresh it all fight.
Although having said that, I think given that the virus is doing like almost like 1k, and I guess Kane was only doing like 400, there's not too much more time on that. Meanwhile, Zilch gets the rat tail from this spot, so not useful right now. But once we get that hook, we could see the classic rat into pink tail.
Good. Good
Not
time.
that I've actually ever called that once
Wasn't
during one of
objective.
Zilch's races. But no, I think we are about to commence grinding, I believe.
Yep.
Because Zilch has gone straight to uh that's Mysidia. Yeah, Mysidia. Brain
It
just stopped working for a second. Yeah, straight to Mysidia, raising the Lunar Whale. Probably gonna grab those two. From his perspective, grab those two. Yeah, you pick up two Ridias, I guess, and just go and just go complete reflect.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And you even get to I don't know. I suppose you have Teller as your anchor, and I hate to say this because this is going to sound ridiculous, but we keep just so Eddie can be the berserker you need to get through a Valvalis.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't believe I just said those words, because that is the one risk of going full reflect is Valvalis just says no.
yeah, especially if Valvalis is at Cave Bahamut. That's exceptionally rude if that's the case. It might be worth the peek, as Trina was saying. Just to give you an idea, that's going to be your last test before Zeromus, and it's a worthy enough test that knowing the boss that's there might help you decide how to form.
It's true. I'm surprised. It only just occurred to me that I'm surprised that actual JP didn't make that check as well. But
But it looks like Zilch. Well, don't know if this is for Bahamut or the character. Let's see. Yeah, he is going to check. Get that heads up.
Yeah, I do like this. For what's worth, it just makes sense.
It doesn't look like JP is ready to set up a D machine grind. Oh wait, he used a siren and then reset out. Might not be sure he can one shot.
He doesn't need to because he can just have weak. We can weak the eggs,
That's
right?
true. Just weak it off of Tella and it's done. So
yeah,
we'll see. Probably worth asking him what his thought process was after he got.
Well, wish we still had those hourglasses because
the Dark Imps.
Ooh, this is also gonna be very punchy. Oh boy, this is
even with an hourglass, this is not free because with an hourglass, Zilch might be showing off some shenanigans. If he can get the hourglass in before receiving 3 punches, then he's shown us all a nice little bit of tech here.
Always just try to get the stone off.
Stone. But okay. That also works. This is exactly what he did to the guards.
If he's able to get alright.
They just get their attacks queued up a little faster than the guards did. This is a very fast and bam.
This may actually be the one time where you may want to pick up a 4th character.
Mm-hmm.
Just just say, I don't know, like Iridia. Since you know you're probably going to slingshot Iridia anyway. And then just so you have more bodies when you stop use the hourglass.
Yeah, maybe. Also, just given the amount of time involved in that cutscene, flying back down to Earth, I wouldn't be surprised if Zilch isn't going to go
Oh,
back.
oh
unless
no,
he
I'm.
it just for
Oh no,
later.
I'm not suggesting. Yeah, like I think given what Zilch has right now, like it makes sense to not do this just yet. But you
Gotcha.
know. Oh hey, another free curse
Have a
ring.
curse ring in a
J++
much easier place to find it. Curse ring in the back of Dwarven Castle. Classic.
Okay, no, Zilch has got a better idea. He's going to have Tell in the second slot, and yeah,
Gets the
in
blink
the
in nice. So unless Board AI go triple into Tella, the stone will at least get cast.
Yeah,
Does it
exactly.
land? Question. Nicely done.
It lands. Nice. All right.
And that's
So that's
objective.
yeah, that is an objective. Objective number 2 for.
Ooh.
Oh.
Not go mode, but it's 2 more free key item checks.
Yeah. If honestly,
Huge.
if I, yeah, that is huge. If I am Zilch, I am beelining it there right now. I know because I know I've just made. I would feel so far ahead of being able to have done this fight that I'm willing to take those chances, spend that, push my advantage of you going 10 in a 10.
So I find this very interesting. We both said that once we found that darkness crystal, we would grind immediately.
Yeah. Yes.
Neither runner is pushing for that. They're both running around making what checks they can and looking, it seems, to try and get a hold of go mode beforehand, and that suggests they might be trying to skip the grind entirely.
Well, I guess that's when you have an Edward, that skipping the grind entirely makes complete sense, right? I mean,
Yeah,
why do a grind where you don't have to? That's I don't know, say 10, 15 minutes worth of not progression.
yeah. And Zilch also is our pioneer of the 1200 HP strats. There have been some other people that have helped contribute to refining it, but he laid the initial groundwork. So I guess I shouldn't
Yeah.
be too surprised to see him trying to get past the grind entirely.
And I guess the other thing, if you watch back to the Mega Plane 1 race, Zilch was doing some ambitious routing, let's just say. Anyway, we should let him to get second in that race. So
The play he just
I'm
pulled
sure he
off-
knows his stuff.
Yeah, the play he just pulled off on Cave Bahamut. I'm a fan of seeing things like that happen. It's the sort of thing I personally aspire to.
Yeah, that is very creative thinking on the run there. I'm not sure I would have come up with that idea to begin with.
No, I don't think I would have you. Actually,
Like even to think, even doing it on the second attempt.
Yeah. JP gets through Kainazo in the front of the dwarf castle, which is the worst of the 2 spots to see him in, but he keeps the waves down and gets the job done, and Dr. Luga here won't present it.
Alright, but I don't know, my eyes are currently on Silch screen because he's just about to turn the pen, and we might see Gomo come very shortly. Ooh, Earth Crystal. Oh my.
No, if you're still not sure what sort of party you want to form, you got 2 characters if you follow through to the Tower of Zot, and you certainly have the treasury.
Yeah,
And it looks like Zilch is going to take care of Dwarf Castle while he's in the neighborhood.
I think he's just shopping because he didn't take a save. I think
might just be shopping.
Because I think it might be a bit too ambitious to try to do that without having healed up. Since he just went through Sylph Cave, right?
You're right. He does need to heal up first.
So just to clarify, that was if you think about it, that was actually a required double dip of Sylph Cave. You could not avoid it.
Sheila 1 has darkness, and you need darkness, and there you could not avoid double dip in Sylph Cave. You've got to make the Sheila 1 check to progress.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love this game sometimes.
It happen often, which is why I like. I've got burned a couple of times early on when I was just practicing group flags, just leaving a Sheila 1 alone a little too long, and it just stuck with me. I get back to Sheila 1 as soon as I can.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the real fight has begun on JP's side. And it's going to be very sad when this Berserk doesn't do anything.
That power shirt that Sheila was holding on to would be a great gift for her husband.
If only her husband was present in this party.
If only. Zilch has knocked out the Panchax, doesn't have Go mode yet, still needs both a pink tail and a hook if he wants objective 4, or just a legend sword.
Oh, are we about to rate that treasury?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're going to do some shop checks first. Zilch might want to make sure he can clear out enough inventory so that he doesn't run into inventory boss during the looting. We shall see.
That's fair. But mind you, has Zilch looted that much, honestly? I don't think he has.
I don't know. Then it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's just shopping while he's in the neighborhood.
Makes sense.
Save outside suggests that he is going to climb the tower in a moment. But here's that right turn, and that means that it is time for everyone's favorite game.
Rate that treasury!
Glorious, Murasame, Catclaw, Ninja Helm number 2, Diamond Ring, Lightsaber, Hourglass 2, Strength Ring, Poison Arrows, Silver Apple, Heal Potion, and second Murasame. Ooh.
Where, Commander?
Yes?
Where's our edge?
Right? Ninja out of 10, Edge out of 10, yes.
Yes.
This is how you rate.
No, yeah, that is basically how I rate that. Like, you know, like you have what, 2 pieces of Hanzo steel. You have I think we picked up a full moon or boomerang somewhere so we could backward glitch him.
Full moon with the
Oh, that's interesting. JP just got the hook from Dwarf Castle.
The hook out of Dwarf Castle and turn in the rat tail. See how this goes.
Oh, was it 3 pieces? I thought it was only 3 Murasames. Unless there was a Masamune I missed, but yeah, either way.
I just saw 2 Murasames.
Yeah.
And 2. And yes, the strength ring.
Oh yes, the strength ring as well. I was too busy going through I forgot to mention the strength ring. Also, because we also got the ninja shirt as well, so we can give that black belt to some other physical fighter.
I missed the ninja shirt. Nice. I like ninja shirt.
Yeah, it was ninja out of 10, which we established this. Also, likely if you want to get Cecil, but you know.
Yeah. So, Rat Tail becomes a Silent Staff, which, you know, I don't know if JP had the Life Staff that Zilch had. If not, that Silent Staff is very good news.
Yeah, that would be quite good news. That's at least a no. That's the second best white mage staff you can have. So yeah, very welcome to pick up. But no, this is amazing how much we've diverged, and I feel like it's all because of the fact that Zilch has managed to take down the. Oh boy! Sorry, I just saw what was on Zilch's screen.
Yeah,
very
able to make
very rude.
Which is an objective, has led to so much on Zilch's side of things that JP just hasn't done at all and can't do.
Speaking of things he can't do you think that this Valvalis at the Mega System spot is doable? Because I don't, honestly.
You mentioned something about our hero, the Berserk Bard. I think that's our only chance here. We're gonna find out real fast. Yeah, I don't think this virus gets through here, but I'm not.
No, it doesn't. I'm pretty certain of that.
Nope. Yep. Nothing on that virus. So.
Well, meanwhile, we have another poor armor in Cave Evelyn, so not great there.
And yeah, Berserk can't handle this. The only thing that is going to work here is aim, and 200 links a shot on a 9,000 hit point location.
Yeah, I was doing that math in my head as well. That did not sound appealing at all.
No.
Um,
Yeah, there we go. This is,
yeah,
you can probably win that fight, Zilch, and you could have done so much more in the amount of time that fight would take. And he realizes that.
yeah. No. So this is good. So how many key items does Zilch have? 8, right? So we know that if he goes to Dwarf Castle, that's 9. Keyless Tower is 10.
Maybe.
That doesn't sound appealing at all.
That could be why our runners have held off on the grind. They might just be chasing 10 keys. Pepita, I'd like to point out that we already know where both of the ways around are, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like, this is why it's actually an interesting discussion about what is it quicker to grind? No. At what point should you have grinded, right? Because yes, you can wait to get to 10 key items, and then you'll make your grind a lot quicker, like half the time, in fact, or a bit under half the time, or a bit over half the time, because you still have to set you still have your static having to set up the D machine grind at all, right?
Yeah.
But how much time does it take to actually get to those 10 key items? Like,
Right.
And this is why I was a fan of grinding early, because I think at the time that Zilch or even JP got their Darkness Crystal, they were what, 4 or 5? So
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah, which is why this. I mean, it could be 10, but that doesn't honestly feel right. I feel like both Zilch and JP are trying to avoid grinding entirely.
Yeah, I think from Zilch's perspective, I think that makes sense. I mean, you've just managed to cheese your way through your second objective, and you're just one character away from getting a third. And yes, Pepita, trying to find a better slingshot is also a good thing to try and do, but I guess my opinion is that it's a time difference, right? How much time does it take to find a better slingshot compared to this character will do?
Yeah.
Like it's a risk versus reward proposition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think
like this is
Orange is simply because, hey, I already got Rosa.
Well, I would argue that 3D is also the pick, basically because it's a source of black magic. Like this point, I already thought.
Yeah.
Like to me, the interesting discussion was Rydia or Yang. Honestly, that would have been a very interesting discussion topic. We are setting up our Baron manipulation on actual JP's side. Did anyone get a count of how many steps he took into that?
I did not.
That's alright. I don't know. I struggle to count in some time. In race situations. So I do hope for JP's perspective that this is the correct number. Or he reads it correctly, because I have definitely lost some races because I miscounted twice.
Yeah, I have to walk slow to be able to keep my count straight.
Having said that, I think both times I messed it up. I think I was doing my 2 steps out in front of Baron, and not what my preferred step routing essentially. Of going I have a 5x2 section which I like to go through.
Right.
But again, this is all just for personal preference, really.
Mm-hmm. You do whatever works for you, basically, as long as you get it right.
Exactly.
Looks like JP let Rydia level up just enough so that she could cast Sylph in the D machine grind, and then takes her down to preserve the slingshot.
No, that's smart. That's a smart approach as well. Like that's exactly enough MP. In fact, 25. That's a clever approach to this. Saves having to take turns to heal. If I guess Sylph is also it's doable to do a double life glitch, but it's hard. It's challenging to do so. But we do actually need to teach the Sylph, and we also do need to make sure that Rydia is healed up. So,
Yeah, it might have been worth a quick trip in the whale. Take care of that.
Yeah. I've made too many mistakes where I've given Teller a Soma drop only to forget to heal up, and then he's only got 90 hit points anyway, MP anyway. So
Yeah, a lot of
done
us.
that, mate.
Think. Zilch is going to get the hook from here, going to turn the rat tail, get the silence staff. And then it'll be interesting to see what he does. If he decides he's done everything he really can do without a grind and bites the bullet, or if he has some more impressive plays in store for us.
Well, he does. Okay, so we know at this point he has two other things he has available to us, which are potentially feasible. Because I'm not counting that Yang and Asura feasible at this point.
Yeah.
We can do Keyless Tower,
Mm-hmm.
which not great, but
He can dive.
we can do that
if he's feeling spicy.
Yeah, that's the other option. Is to
Yep.
dive Luffy. Yes.
Yeah, but
I
unless to go
feel like
the carrying Cecil, he's not going to cheese that.
yeah, exactly. We're not carrying Cecil just for that one fight, unless you're feeling very spicy.
Way back before you pick it up, and I'm not sure it's worth it.
Yeah, like I said, if you save scum that,
Yeah.
you could, but is it really worth the 3 minutes it would take to do so? I'd say no.
You'd have to be really committed to not grinding.
It is Zilch though, so we do know that he is in favor of not grinding. No, not grinding. He doing things with not much less grinding than you should do a fight. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, because Zilch was working on Dwarf Castle, I believe, when JP started setting up his grind, and it's a time-consuming process setting up a D machine grind and execute, especially when the parties are relatively.
Ooh. Actually, JP might actually come to an issue because the tail is not in the middle slot.
Oh yeah,
So
he's gonna.
so
miss
there.
that.
Yeah, so we might be in a space where that's that week will miss. I think it just missed one. In fact, that's why he's resorting to a lightning 3.
That could be.
Yeah, this could be This is problematic.
Yeah, JP is either going to have to just not go for doubles, or just in general going to have to slow down.
Yeah, he has to slow down, which
He has to make sure weak hits before he can queue up his kill shot, and that's going to make it harder to queue up multiple life potions behind it.
well, we also need a character up to be able to set this up, right?
Yeah, and it looks like he's not going for Sylph after all.
Yeah, I did notice this.
Or he might just not have ever intended to go for Sylph. He might just have forgotten to take her down in the first fight, and
Yeah,
there.
that's also a possibility. But yeah, you can see how only having 3 characters up for this is actually kind of slowing JP down, because he can only really set up a single life glitch, then he has to cycle through again before before he can actually do another D machine. So
yeah, and it looks like he's making the most of the situation. He's probably going to heal between every cycle, and so he at least will be able to keep his party strong and less in danger of running out.
yeah, that's fair. Meanwhile, we have Zilch going doing the spicy sealed cave check. I actually do like this.
Yeah.
If only because if it's nothing, you don't have to do. You fought Demus already, so you don't have to check who the boss is. And if it is something, then you're in go mode. If it is like, I don't know, say Pink Tail or Legend Sword, you're in go mode. So you still enabled yourself the ability to do your cheeky low level strats.
Yeah, the progression is the one thing that might hurt. Is, if it's a twin harp or a baron key or a tower key, you're still obligated to keep an eye on it.
True, but then it's your 10th key item, so this is also
True.
fine. You can just grind.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I agree, Dark Paladin. Not putting Tell in the middle slot is very risky business here. I am. This is very risky. This could go wrong pretty quickly once if the weak misses.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I've never made that mistake. And a tiara's lovely headgear, but not what Zilch is looking for, knows Luca K's best.
Yeah. So Threemus not paying. No, that Threemus at the back attack spot not paying off. But yeah, I think Zilch is actually just urgently trying to find this 10th key item before grinding.
We'll know for sure when he finds it.
Or if he finds it, right? I mean, all he has left is what? The Yang Asur and the basically not doable Asur.
Yang, Keyless Tower, and the entirety of the Lunar Subterranean.
But would you really do all Lunar Subterranean?
Would you have done
before?
Luca?
Well, Luca was at least in the area, right?
I'm
We're already
saying,
on the ground.
I'm not ruling anything out.
But no, but
hang out there. We still got Baron guards. I think Zilch might still have his hourglass because he's stoned every other thing with the boss bit. I mean,
fair actually.
We just found dolls, so much for that.
That's...
But
I think Zilch is trying to work out how to do this, how you can cheese this.
What else do we have that's cheesable? You get the
Odin. We can cheese Odin.
You can get past
we have...
Golden.
We can cheese Odin. We can find a shot.
Odin's cheesable. We've got Eddie. Blink. Tuck back in with a Thor Rage. Yeah, Odin's very cheesable. I like Zilch's commitment to holding on to the hourglass, employing whatever tech he can to take out these bosses rather than using that one precious item.
Look, hourglass is a very powerful effect, right? I mean,
yeah,
just being able at certain boss fights, it just makes it doable.
Yeah,
makes them doable.
Yeah, I think a lot of runners would have burned that hourglass already, and the fact that he is saving it for when he has no other option and finding other ways through the fights is a very good showing on his part.
So yeah, Trina, I don't think we've seen Water Hag either, but I don't think there are many spots where I want to see Water Hag anyway. So things look like they're going in a real bad spot. I think that a week just missed.
Yep.
And we can see the consequence thereof. Like,
yeah, when that happens,
you can see how badly JP is scrambling now.
Yeah. Gets that Cure 2 on Rosa just in time to save her from the next fire. But
yeah.
If you hit D Machine, he counters with a very rude physical. And even if you...
Oh, did he miss menu? Oh no.
I don't know if he mismenued or he decided that he's just done.
Oh, this definitely feels bad.
Oh, and he's low on MP. Gotta put it together. Gotta hang on.
For what's worth, if it was me, I would just reset already and just start grinding. No.
The time he's put in, no, you've got to take this out to the bitter end. He's not. Gets the weekend. I think you're right. I think it was a mismatch. Even if you decide you're done, you wait until the D Machine's gone and make that decision in comfort.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the week to land. His Rosa's out of arrows. Oh no! And he doesn't have any arrows in inventory. He's got to bring it back up to Kane, who previously had no weapons so that he could trigger the Searcher. This is...
Yeah, this... Oh wow, this happened.
But the Ice Brand gets in, and I think he's actually going to get a double.
Well, that works, yeah. That plays. That plays. All right, okay.
It's a double, and if he wants to continue this, he's going to have to heal the Searcher.
Wait. Big dollar on Zilch's side. Oh wow, that's unlucky. So all the berserkers killed the
The Berserkers took out Protoads? Oh no.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's so unlucky. Oh my.
Oh wow. Those back rows have so much more hit points. How could you possibly? Oh, and he is going for it. He is undeterred. He is going to continue this grind. He's healing up the Searcher.
No, all right, okay.
Bravo! Bravo!
Oh wow. Wait, Cure 4 works? Okay. Cure 4 works. Okay. Good to know in case my D Machine grind goes that far awry.
Good thing
Cure 4 works.
This grind.
Well, we're still live at least.
Yeah. Like
so this is kind of why I really like buying 24 rages.
Like, I mean, I've had far less grievous mistakes send my D machines off the rails. This isn't terrific by action.
Yeah, this is an amazing recovery by JP. Like, I think we have to interview him about that, about his thought process during that, because that is an amazing recovery for what to me looked like a botched D machine.
Yeah, that definitely looked like it was going to end in tears.
And if nothing else, I do love that we actually learned something from watching this race, because I love learning things about this game. I'm still amazed I learned something new every single time.
And there's just so much going on in this random, the way it's set up, and just the way all of the weird quirks of the vanilla game. And the moment things start to get stale in the meta, people come along and say, now how can I do it better? And suddenly we're all trying to learn new tech.
Alright, Zilch has had enough. He's burnt his hourglass too.
It's time for the hourglass.
Didn't use it for those required DMs, but these are Calcabrina dolls. Yeah, no, gotta burn it now. I'm sick of this. Yeah, Gundam. He actually, we knew he had the hourglass. He was just trying to save it. We knew that. It was.
Yeah.
I think this is a point where he's said to heck with this. I'm done here.
Yeah. And he goes ahead and burns out some J items to make sure this time the orange dolls go first. And get through this. Not trusting Eddie with that machine gun bow going nuts this time.
Well, he had 2 hourglass too. Oh my god.
Oh, nice. He picked up the one that JP got. Okay, nice. So he's still got his pocket. JP's was in the waterfall. Right, that's the one JP found, was in the waterfall. And Zilch, of course, we saw him get one in Eblin. Yes.
Yeah. Now this is just still blowing my mind. Oh, I can't believe that. But yeah, Zilch is now through the keyless tail play and is rewarded with a spoon. Not a key.
Other than the fact that it's a key item.
It's his 10th key item, right?
It is
or
his
is it 9th
key item. He's on double XP now. We'll see now.
Yeah.
Is that what he was looking for, or is he still trying not to grind? We'll find out in a moment.
I feel like at this point you just have to grind. At this point, like you have,
right. You're running out of things you can choose.
Yeah, you have Valvalis at a not doable spot, unless you're willing to commit like half an hour to do it. You have a Yang, which is going to be very fast and punch very hard.
Yeah, this party's not getting through Yang.
Or you have LST.
Yeah, you can grind now, or you can dive the moon.
Yeah, at this point I would have grinded. Mind you, I would have grinded like half an hour
We
ago,
grinded
so
before either of these runners did. Yeah,
it's true. Mind you, I went 0-6, so what do I know?
and I didn't even make table. But yeah, I would have hit my grind the moment I had that darkness crystal. I'm grabbing Tella. I'm choosing my party. I'm hitting my grind.
Yeah. Yep, I think Zilch is waving that white flag. He's gonna commit to a grind, and he's probably gonna be very unhappy to do so.
Yeah, because you can set up once you determine your encounter seed, which is what you do with the steps outside of Baron. You can do anything that doesn't involve resetting or getting into a random encounter, and your D machine will still be waiting for you. Go pick up characters, fight bosses, chop, whatever. Just don't reset and don't get into another random encounter.
Yeah. Although, okay, so here is some interesting, pleasant accents I found out during a botched grind of mine. Okay.
Okay.
If you accidentally take a step out in Baron, if you're doing your D machine grind, it will not impact your manipulation if it's in the save room. If it's in the elements room, it does mess it up.
Now, does the step onto the town tile count as one of your steps?
I don't know. I wasn't stepping off it's fair. But if you forget to turn off your encounters, but you take an extra step, as long as it's in the save room, it doesn't matter. It only matters if it's in the elements room. So, Commander, do you know why that's the case?
Okay, yes, because wait.
It works in the. It's okay in the save room, but not in the elements room.
If you forget to turn off your encounters?
Yes.
Well, how did you get all the way through the chest with your encounters on is what I want.
Oh no, you took one step and then you realized. You took one step and then remembered, oh dang, you forgot to turn off encounters, and then turned off encounters.
I don't know why.
Okay, this is going to be highly technical. The fact that I remember reading this while just the fact the person who created this manipulation for us was discussing this. The save room and the elements room have different counter rates.
Sure.
So every time you take a step, you advance the step route ahead by a certain number, right? Ahead of the seed.
Yes.
So it just so happens that the Baron Town and the save room have the same encounter rate.
Okay.
So taking that one extra step doesn't change your routes when it comes to your manip that way. But because the element room has a different, I think it's a different encounter rate, that does mess up because you advance like a few to further.
Huh. Yeah, I learned.
Learned that the hard way.
Well then.
Look, sometimes I know things about this game. Sometimes I do prove my knowledge of this game sometimes.
Right?
Sometimes, no.
So, JP,
So yes, that
his grind, Zilch is ending it. Conventional wisdom, after doing a grind, suggests you go after the tough spots. For this very reason. Either your opponent did a grind, and you're basically on the same page, or your opponent didn't do it. And if your opponent didn't grind, they've gone after all the easy stuff, and if it was the way through, you're already dead in the water. Your only hope is that way forward is through the really tough stuff.
Yeah. So I find it interesting now that JP is actually went back down to Earth as opposed to doing Cave Bahamut. Like,
yeah,
it's an interesting choice. Like,
and
I am personally not a fan of this. I think I would have just gone Cave Bahamut. Then I don't know, depending how I'm feeling, either top down or bottom up, depending on how gambling I'm feeling. But you do know that you are, apart from Cave Bahamut, you're one key item away from go mode. So why not do that?
Yeah, he didn't knock out those guards, so he does have 2 key items here waiting for him, but I agree, general rule, it's what I said earlier in the broadcast. You generally have only 2 excuses for not going after your objectives. 1, you just can't reach them, such as Cave Bahamut when you don't have Darkness Crystal. And 2, you're not strong enough to do the spot at all or do it in a time-efficient manner. And once you've done a D-Machine grind, that second is not an issue.
Yeah. But no, it looks. But JP might have guessed correctly,
Yeah.
and that's the thing about this randomizer. We don't know what Gomez is until we find out as viewers.
Yeah, it's a spicy move here. I understand wanting to clear out Earth, even though, even after doing a D-Machine grind, that cutscene up to the moon is a thing, and that dive down the LST is very much a thing. But
Yeah.
this is interesting. We're going to see how it plays out.
No, actually, if Yang has a crystal sword, that would also be great, but for different reasons.
It'll be hilarious. I mean,
Yeah.
really, if you're going after that Yang, it's easier for you if you have a paladin. So here's your reward, Sir Paladin. Neither of our runners can use it.
Well, not anymore anyway. Like, to be fair, although having said that, if you galaxy brained it and actually did take that Cecil to try to save Scum, that fight,
and he hands you
the crystal sword, you feel like a
wow.
you feel like a genius. Yeah. Yep. So JP using his levels to be able to quake down those the soldiers, letting the officer retreat, is rewarded with a sorcerer, which is not what he was looking for, but won't say no to.
Yeah, JP does not care about levels. He's got a level 57 Rydia, level 52 Kane, and
a level 48. More importantly, level 48 Teller.
Okay,
that's the important
level
thing,
48
right?
Teller, because somebody else is being the anchor today, and a level 51 Rose. Yeah.
I still find it funny that at the start of this, I said we're probably going to have some levels on Eddie, and JP just decides to prove me wrong.
Yep, just a permanent.
That takes dedication.
Zilch on
just to spite me.
With his cursed ring, just gave everybody levels with his D-Machine grind.
Look, I think Edward deserves levels, given how much carrying he did in that early game.
I agree.
He deserves it. As a treat.
Yeah, as a treat. Even without a spoon, I like seeing Eddie do some work. And he's not a bad backup plan for your Z fight if it goes off the rails. If it goes off the rails real fast and you're still working your way through phase 1, if he's then ducked out, you can bring him back in and get the last bit of damage.
So remind me, Rosa learns White's at level 48, right? Or was it 46? Because I know that she learns Cure 4 very early, but I'm not sure if she has White. Because I know that I can tell the twins do. I mean, not the twins, the Viridians do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is 48? Okay.
Luke at 50.
All right, so
know that.
Yeah. And I know that for Paladin it's 52. So yeah, so we are fully self-reflect. So yes, that grind just shows how quick, how much difference getting to 10 key items does, because that grind basically took the time it took for JP to get back down to Earth, is on his second fight afterwards. Yeah, that is the power of actually getting to that 10 key item.
Yes.
Oh! Pigtail! Yang has part of Go mode. Oh boy. We have a race, everyone.
JP.
Oh boy.
The Galaxy Brain Fey March check pays off big All he has to do now is turn in the pink tail and go up to the moon and take out some dark imps.
Yeah, that is no. Yeah, that is wow. That paid off. So, and this is going to be a disaster.
And we'll definitely check on this in the interview. God, we have so many things to ask. But this could be in a case of, I know Zilch. I know if he's done his grind, he's going moon. I'm going to hope it's not where he's going. Just, do what the other guy isn't and hope it gets you the go. But it worked.
Well, in Zilch's defense, that's all he has left, right? He has 5. He has, what, 1, 2, 3...
Oh, no.
1,
moon
2,
is
3,
the play.
4, 5.
We were both sitting here really confused. I don't think we can defend Zilch at all.
Yeah.
Zilch is doing what you or I would have done at this point. Counted the number of key in each spot and know that you have the power. You go moon.
To answer the restreamer, no one's gone through Zot. There is a big valve-shaped wall in the way, in the Mega Sister spot.
So, about that ninja that we didn't find, would you like a Masamune for him?
I'm gonna say there was an edge in at the end of that in Zot. But yeah, this scene had the potential to be very jetty, and we just completely missed it.
If Legend is behind Earth, then this is rough for Zilch. He's gonna go through moon and come up empty.
So, you know what? So what's JP searching for here? Do you know? He's buying rune rings. He's buying rune rings. There are rune rings here.
Oh, okay. Nope.
Where do you buy them? What?
Right to remember.
Then what's he doing here?
I'm in the interview.
Okay.
Well, he found Cure 3s. And if Cure 3s is what he was looking for, that makes sense. I think they're gated on the... And while you're here,
they are.
Might as well check on weapons and armor.
They are in fact gated, so yeah, this...
So, yeah. I think that's what this was. It's a Cure 3.
I guess if you're concerned about your chemist situation, yeah, this is fine then, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so first up on Zilch's screen, we have about to do ribbon rip spot. Who could possibly be here? We still have some... I was about to say Rude Boss is still available. That was not the first one I was going to mention, but it was pretty high up there.
Yeah, Zilch says...
And instant reset.
To your nonsense. Don't blame him.
Don't blame him. So, let's see. In the White Spear Altar, we have an Elements fight, which is fine. You can cheese that. You get to just go nuke, reflect nukes off everyone and be done with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enough. Take a couple of punches, but no big.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the spot is
not,
that
depending
punch
on
anyway.
how hard these nukes hit.
Yeah, this punch spot isn't punchy at all.
60 damage. Is there a sorcerer row back there? Because I think sorcerer row.
Oh, that might. Oh yes, that would as well. Yes, that would.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. See, that's what I was expecting from one of those punches. Bam. One shot's a high level Rosa.
Alright, so Zilch is through that fight. And we get as our reward a ninja hat.
Third ninja hat of the seed.
Totally what we were not looking for.
No, not really. Especially not for this party. I mean, ninja hat on Rosa, maybe. Third ninja hat? Yeah.
Yep.
Zilch for it now. Gets Eddie out of the way quick.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, that's a very smart setup. That's a smart setup.
Shadow Dragon's not going to eat anybody here. Keeps the people alive that he wants. If they can get a veil time, then he's got that one extra step in front of this. Over on JP's
Yep.
side, quick stone
gets-
cast. Ella still not in middle position. Lands anyway, and that's
Yeah.
going to be go mode.
Go over for actual JP at what? Crystal at 1 hour, 31 and 32 minutes and change.
All he has to do now is walk down the LST. Unless this is Legend Pass, looks very, very good for JP, and even then, that just makes it look close. Legend Pass for Zilch here.
Yeah.
Rydia shrugs off the virus in this rather strong spot.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that the magic in this spot is pretty bad.
Yeah, but still. It still just makes it close. Zilch has to
Yeah.
go back down to Earth, forge, come all the way back up, and walk down the LST. I think even if this is Legend Pass, it gets close, and if it's anything else, JP needs to struggle with his Z fight for Zilch to get in this.
And to be fair, JP's party isn't that great compared for the Z5 compared to Zilch's. Like he has a Kane that's probably going to act as a chemist, and he only has one reader compared to the two on Zilch's side for the full reflect. So it might take a bit longer from his perspective.
Yeah, I could definitely see him struggling with the fight a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me, but that's what it's going to have to take at this point. We're just watching JP take the walk down, and we're watching Zilch try and chew through the 40-some-odd thousand hit points that he needs just to get Golbez to trigger the Y on some direct damage.
But why indeed, Why, and there we go. Why indeed?
Why indeed? Here we go. It's not the letter I'm seeing in chat, though. I'm seeing it completely different.
Well, they're clear in the third dimension, right? Because that's how it works. X coordinate, Y coordinate, Z coordinate. But yeah, look.
Sword, great. Now we have more agility boosting gear, but that is
also crystal ring, which would have been great for the last fight.
It really would have been.
Just in time, no less.
Oh.
But yeah. So okay, So yeah, we really need for Zilch needs this to not be in, for JP to take some have some rough gripes here. Basically, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna have to be. But JP's saving, getting his party in order. Probably gonna have somebody eat that apple, because if not now, then when?
We don't need to eat the apple. We've always seen Dr. Luge.
Sure, but it's still helpful. Ah! No,
Well,
no. Larg!
That's
Larg!
yeah, that's not great. That's
He's
a
gonna
wyvern.
go for it though. He's setting the wyvern standard time. He's gonna give it a go.
He has to. In the meantime, I guess we'll go through this thing where there's a whole bunch of things coming up in chat. So in this randomizer, there are over, I think it's like 450 sprites, because Zilch is a very hard fight. We don't really want to see big bangs in, say, Antlion. So instead of randomizing, where Zilch is, we actually Zilch what he looks like. So with that being the case, the more important question we have to ask is, whose butt are we going to kick today?
Yes, indeed. The rest of us would ask tonight, but for Infinius, it's like almost 11 in the morning.
That's true, it is almost 7. It's almost lunchtime. Speaking of lunchtime, I know you want to potato miss, so I'm not going to bother passing that.
You know.
but I don't know. I'm always a fan of I just love my Ace Attorney, so I'm going to go with Edgeworth for myself.
That works.
But
Good.
we will soon see who is proven to be correct. We have what, a 0.02 something percent chance of being correct. So you know, surely the one time I get to hit, it'll be great. His true colors emerged, and we have.
Kaiser. Oh,
Kaiser.
I wouldn't have recognized it without the name, but I think this is one of the bonus fights from the FF6 Kaiser Dragon.
I suppose that's true.
Am I remembering that correctly? Or guessing that correctly, I should say. Remembering would imply that I ever fought this.
Yeah, I actually don't know where this is from either. This is.
Okay, so it is from the FF6 bonus dragon and from the GBA. Not the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the GBA. Yeah, that's right, Scala. I remember reading that somewhere. That like the code for the Kaiser Dragon, the stats and everything, is actually there in the original game. It just never gets used.
Ooh, okay, that was a rough one. That Big Bang did not get nerfed.
Nope.
So
this can be recovered, but yeah, it doesn't. I'm not seeing Chemist Kane here at all. That's a Kane going berserk.
Interesting. So okay. Oh, did Zilch wipe to? It looks like Zilch wiped to that Wyvern. So we're going to attempt number 3.
Yeah, which is a thing. I mean, even after you get past that rude Mega Nuke, you still have to go through the very fast for this spot, very fast wall and reflected nukes. It's a rough race just to keep ahead of that.
Yeah, fair.
Well, I was a little surprised he took it. I mean, I might have been tempted myself to finish clearing out the moon elsewhere, go for hopefully something better at Crystal Sword or Murasame, and then if both of those come up empty, decide if I want to deal with this or go back to Earth.
I mean, I feel like at this point given what Zilch has left, you are committing. You are committing hard to whatever's here. So it makes sense just to try and fight this. I think the key thing that's happened here is that he's actually gotten a third character. He has a third character, and then he actually taught Sylph to his Ridias.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Because before
Yes.
I think the reflected nukes were just killing his party.
Yeah, and now he can get Wyvern to land some more Mega Nukes on himself and do some more of the job. And with 2 Ridias spamming Sylphs, let's go.
Yeah. And it's not like Rose is going to do anything else this fight, unless you really want to have a reflect whites.
Right?
Which I suppose you could do, but not ideal.
Yeah. And it's a thing. Healing's done, and as well. This Big Bang's gonna drop actual JP unless he nerfed it. Oh, he did. Nice. And that's
He did
why...
nerf it, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, maybe what actual JP was trying to set up was actually just do Berserk to get to get closer to Reflect, but then actually to get Reflect kill. Just going about it in a kind of awkward way. But
Let's go
you
mode.
might play. Oh, let's go mode. That's Legend
It
Sword.
is go mode.
Okay. So, all right, we do have a race on our hands then, because this now becomes quite interesting.
Yeah. I think depending on how long JP struggles, I think even with one wipe, JP still has a lead. But I think if JP were to fall twice to Zeromus, and especially if he were to decide after 2 failures that he needed to stop and grind a little more, that could be enough to get Zilch back in.
Yeah, but I don't actually see. I think JP is actually in a good spot right now. Yes, there's it's just going to be a bit awkward, but he's still in a okay spot.
Yeah, this is still very much doable for JP. This is still very much in his hands.
So Berserk now, I think JP's strat involves not wiping to Meteor, not seeing Meteor phase.
Well, and he's also every Big Bang, which can be dicey. If you end up missing your nerf because you're a little early, and the counter nuke isn't kind enough to bounce off the wall, then you can end up flooring a character that otherwise would have stayed up.
Yeah, but I think he got the nerf in time for this one.
Yeah, this one's solid.
Yeah. Successful nerf. And ooh, so we could have gone Zerx in this with the cool shop, but hey, that's fine.
Marcus, yeah.
But yeah, Zilch has got his Fortune Excalibur is in go mode himself, and is going to be on actual JP's tail.
Actually, as slowly as JP's picking his way through this fight, one wipe could make this neck and neck.
Agreed. But I feel like he's taking this. Ooh. Is JP out of Star Veils?
He's zerked up his cane. That seems to be giving up on trying to push through phase 1. And yeah, even nerf. Yep, 1600. Rydia's not going to be standing even if this is nerfed, I don't think, unless she manages some very nice values.
Yeah, I think the problem here is that JP actually is out of Star Veils now, and because of how poorly that start fights, he might actually be tipping into nuke phase now.
Yeah, and if he can't reflect any damage anymore, he's either going to have to rely solely on the Zerk Cane to get through, or if you're really good with your timing, Nuke is a fast cast. You could use that as a combination to nerf the Big Bang and get a good punch of damage in, but that's a little dicier than the instant crystal.
Yeah.
Especially at high battle speeds.
No, it looks if this happened, then it looks like I think Rydia's going to survive this. So, but no, this is all very close. Like,
oh, I think he missed that nerf.
But no, it doesn't matter because Rydia got a good dodge roll in, so that's it.
Yeah. Rydia got the dodge roll in, and he had time for a Cure 3 to get her up to full. So he didn't have that pain.
Yeah. Yes, Zilch in fact did forge up with either.
Zilch has completed Objective 1 and has his crystal and is on the way down. It is done.
But yeah, this is actually gonna be very close. I'm not sure. This is gonna be very close here. I'm not sure who's gonna win here anymore. It's this.
Yeah, like JP has
gone.
Just the way this fight is gone, it's just taking a long time. He's holding it together well, but like most Z fights are over one way or the other at this point. Either the runner has to reset and try again, or Z fall. Interesting tipping point that JP's at.
But yeah, this is...
Looks like JP cast a wall so that he could bounce some more spells in.
Yeah, makes sense. Is that white?
That's half as long as a Star Veil, but still lets you get some time in.
Well, the other thing you have to keep in mind is that since we're getting a whole bunch of black holes anyway,
true.
Yeah, it doesn't. The length of time doesn't really matter. I think the key one for me was that or not the key one, but the key thing here is actually Rose's MP at this point. That's the limiting factor here.
Yeah, and
it looks like Zilch is
the only thing he's got to fix it with, and that just takes Again, just takes so much time. But he
Yeah.
got there, so everyone's still standing. As Zilch starts making his way through the Crystal Palace to get into his Z fight. This has suddenly become very close.
Yeah, agreed. This is like I would have given this to JP, JP, but like now I'm not too sure. Like Zilch's fight is going to be relatively quick, and I get the feeling that JP's actually tipped.
Oh,
so,
yeah, I think JP has taken unprovoked nukes already, which means we're in phase. I think. Could very well be wrong. But that's what we're looking for. If we see a virus, is one. If we see a nuke that isn't a direct response to a crystal or some other attack, then we're in phase 2. And of course, next we're in phase 3. Now Zilch, we should never see anything but phase 1 because he's going to be going pure reflect stress with this one.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, got another nerf. Doing a very good nerfing these big bangs.
Yeah, that is a skill that I am very bad at, let's just say.
Funny enough, I'm really bad at it.
Oh no. The black hole just came in and that Rose is going to get nuked. I think that might be...
And
yes.
All in. Got ether.
Oh no.
But Rydia's about to nuke herself.
No, Rydia's going to nuke Rosa. It's even worse than that.
Oh, that's even worse. Oh no. Oh, Rosa was the wall target.
Oh no. Yeah,
Okay.
And with no MP. And we're definitely phase 2. Alright,
which means we've got Big Bang followed by Big Bang next up on the script. So she's got to slap a Cure 4 out in time for this Big Bang.
But no MP, remember? No MP.
Do it. You know what? It's a good thing there's a big stack of Cure 3 potions.
Yeah, I know, right? This has really gone off the rails.
At this point you might swing in and hope that you're near the end of phase 2.
Agreed. Yeah, you can't hold back here. You can't play conservative at this point. You just have to go. Meanwhile, Zilch is going to have a very easy with the two Rydias. This should be a breeze.
Yeah, this could be what puts Zilch right back in it.
Oh, and there's also Silk Web. That might be what actually happened. I'm not sure if JP actually got the Silk Web to land, and that's why he took the unearthed Big Bang in the start of the fight. And this might be a cascade of all that.
That's a good point. Yeah, if you miss that first Silk Web, and that's the only one you got, and you don't ever get around to setting up double slow to compensate,
Yeah.
Can't take Zeromus for granted. Good nerf though. If he's nerfing these Big Bangs on an unsilk-webbed Zeromus, then even more impressive.
But Rydia just went down. I actually think Zilch is going to take this down now. Like, his survival is just been so much more smoother.
Can't take Zeromus for granted. No, you can never ever take Zeromus for granted. This fight is showing that. Okay, if you have a level 60 Crystal Sword Paladin, I'll let you take Zeromus for granted. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, well, I think for that I'd also want a second Cecil with a Cursed Ring and also being level 1.
Yeah,
I guess
we'd
in
like
this
that
anyway.
But if you've got a 4,000 hit point Cecil swinging away at Zeromus for what, probably 7k at that point per swing, you're...
Yeah, that's another nerf.
Well done. JP has shown some amazing pluck in a couple of really tough fights. That D-Machine grind that almost went off the rails where he healed the structure back together, and the Z fight where he's just slugging away. He's kind of on the ropes with this, but refusing to go down, getting a punch in here and there, and wow. Regardless of how this turns out, JP's done some impressive work.
Yeah, he is. At the very least, he's managed to display a talent of actually recovering from a very, very rough spot.
Gru, Yeah, he's already on.
But yeah, no,
seen
but
you
that's the
most
shake
of
on
his
Zilch's side.
Yeah, tips don't. And yep, there it is.
Zilch is done. Zilch is done. That GG to Zilch. He has. Let's put a GG's for GG's to Zilch. He has. I meant once we'll get the time this shortly, but I believe he has taken this race down. And oh, we have oh wow, we actually have media phase.
Goodness, so
Oh
close.
wow,
So
this
close.
was very close.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, this was a race.
Like, I want to see the times line up. I'm not in the race room. I don't do that when I'm on comms.
Yes, I'm not in this race room either. But
So,
no, I have to imagine this is going to be a difference of like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Is this could be a difference in when the runner started or difference in stream lags, things like this.
Exactly, yeah, agreed. But has to be very close, I imagine.
But yeah, at this point, I think that it is Zilch's. And there's our flash.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's our flash.
Behind.
GG, actual JP, you did it. That was a well recovered Z fight.
Okay, official times: 151.32 for Zilch, 153.08 for JP. Minute and a half is super close. Good job.
Good job to GG's to both runners. Please give them a follow because I think after that race they deserve something.
And we've got JP in here with us now.
GG's JP.
Thanks.
Yep. I mean, again, commissioners for taking a loss here, but no, that was really rough. And we're also just joined by Zilch. GG Zilch and congratulations on your win here.
Thank you. I'm not sure how it happened in the end, but I'll take it.
Well, go watch.
So,
very fascinating.
I mean, I watched the last 15 minutes, but yeah.
Fair.
Fair. So I guess
Actually, the first thing I
you
asked JP in the race chat was, how many wipes did you take? And he said none. I was like, what?
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So we have the same question for both of you, and answer in whatever order. You both get the Darkness Crystal. And Phineas and I are both here thinking, okay, you've got Darkness Crystal, you have or know where Tella is. D-Machine Grind incoming. Not so much for either of you. Could you take us through your thoughts on what you were planning between when you got the Darkness Crystal and when you went ahead and went to the Giant for D-Machine?
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I know I was at, I think it was 8 key items at the time. Maybe wrong, but I figured I would at least peek Cave Bahamut just to see what the boss was, check the character in case there was a Palom, and then check the shop for Ether 2s, which would speed things up a little bit. I saw the boss and I realized, oh, that's a free boss. So I decided to commit to that before I did any grind, because I guess I wasn't at 8 key items at that point. I was at 7 or so, because I
5,
definitely got the pan there. Or 5, was it that low? Okay, well,
yeah.
then I guess I just wanted to peek the boss before doing anything, just to see what it was up against. I realized I could take it, so I did. I committed to that, and then I got the pan, and I was like, ooh. Well, first I realized I didn't need to grind at that point, so if I could just get go mode, I wouldn't need to grind at all. So I figured I would at least commit to like some of the earth, whatever remaining earth checks I had, to see if I could either get go mode or get 10 key items, and that's kind of what I did. I don't think that was the right play, but I just committed to the play, and yeah.
It's a play that makes sense. So there's that.
I mean, from my perspective, as soon as you're 1 key item away from go mode, your play actually makes sense. That's the thing, right? Because if it's on mode, you can just do 80 strats or low level strats or whatever, what have you, right? So I get from your perspective, Zilch, I actually thought that made sense of what you did. So how about you, JP? Why not immediately do the D-Machine grind on your end?
Well, I don't really have a complex reason like that. I was at 6 key items. I just went looking around for someone that wasn't Rydia. And then I ended up committing to Rydia and just said, alright, let's just do the grind so that I can start actually clearing harder bosses.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, fair enough.
What kind of party you want? You didn't see it. You want the party you want. Gotcha.
Okay. So I guess another question for you, JP. Okay, I'll get to your D machine grind later. But your choice to go back to the Earth after doing the D machine grind, like what inspired that choice?
I didn't want to go to the moon, so I just wanted to clear the underground first. And then I happened to find the pink tail at Asura spot. So then I was leveled enough to go do Bahamut. So and then yeah, that's really it for that. I just kind of got lucky on a check.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. If I guess if you're going with me to the moon's haunted, then that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and
But that was actually go on.
yeah, it played for you because Zilch had a rude moon to find that legend sword. Parts of it he looked at anyway.
Yeah, I saw it at the
Yeah.
Massive Moon spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Wyvern there guarding that. He also went through Golbez at the ribbon.
Ugh.
Yeah. It was a fun one.
Yeah, I might have just faded those bosses, but I figured I was behind and I didn't see a dot done from JP yet, so I was like, oh, maybe it's behind one of these, so I'm just going to commit to all these long,
good.
time-consuming bosses.
I committed to the 15 minutes Artemis fight, so...
Yeah, that's fair, and
No,
I'm a fan of
JP,
15-minute Threemus fights in general, so...
JP, you had two really scrappy fights in this seed. Your Zeromus fight, where you kept it together, tied together by a thread at times, it seems, and the D machine grind, where it really just about went off the rails and you still pulled it back together. Very impressive on both counts.
Yeah, as soon as I weaked the Searcher, I was kind of... Alright, what do I do? I hope Cure 4 works. And it
Turns
just
out-
happened to work.
Wait, you didn't know that Cure 4 worked?
No, I just kind of
Okay.
guessed.
And he asked me that was a Galaxy Brain play because I didn't know that was going to work either. Meanwhile, we have Zilch giving us music, so that's nice of Zilch. Battle theme for Lufia 2. I heard that's a good game. I should really get to actually try to finish it.
It's got good chart music. I know that much about it.
Yeah. Come on, do you have any other interesting questions?
Just have a looking forward for Zilch. Now that you're 5-1, this obviously wasn't affecting your standings one way or the other. You were in, but you were not making top. Any thoughts about the bracket going forward? Any spot you're hoping to end up in or end up in?
I guess I haven't really thought about it much. I kind of knew early on because my strength of schedule wasn't gonna. Once I took the loss to Dia, I knew my strength of schedule was not gonna get me into play to draft. So I kind of just figured, let's not think about it until I actually get drafted and see what happens. Since I know I won't be doing the drafting. As for people I want to face and don't want to face, I won't say any names because that might jinx things, but there's maybe like 3 people I really don't want to play. Everyone else I feel like I've got a decent shot at winning, but everyone's really good, so it's just who knows what will happen.
And yeah, JP, 0-5, but you made it this far to table, which is an accomplishment that, well, only 32 out of the many people that entered this tournament can say. And we saw in this race, you went up against a very good runner in Zilch and only missed by a minute and a half and certainly put it all on the line. You've got one race left. I believe it's against Mechalink. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice early start, and then I can get on with my day. Should be fun. At least coming this far though, I kind of need to know. I know what I need to do to take the next step forward.
So
and get,
go on.
To try and just improve.
So do you know what things you should be targeting then in that case?
Well, definitely. For one, I need to learn the Edwards track, 'cause I've lost 3 matches to that. Because
Oh.
I just refuse to do it.
Uh,
I've hit roadblocks with it. What else? Definitely some boss scripts I need to learn. And I just
Yeah,
need to
fair.
route a little better because, I mean, I must really love Kaipo because I went there 3 times.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going, I mean, for what's worth, going 0-6 is no shame considering all the good runners here.
Definitely.
I know there's definitely at least one person I know who really should not have gone 0-6. And the other person, yeah, definitely deserved it. So there is that.
Hey. Against himself.
What? I never said who was involved here. It's up to you to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right.
So,
But
any last thoughts from the two of you, JP, Zilch, about the seed tournament in general?
I regret not taking the cane. Not that it would have.
Yeah, that Mal.
Not that I
Oh,
needed
yeah,
to
yeah.
get through Earth, but just the long Demus fight, the long ordeals in general. I figured I had a Zeus Rage and a big bomb, and that should be able to get me through it with the arrows I had. And no, that was a mistake.
Oh.
Yeah. But aside from that, thanks for the cons, guys. I look forward to listening to it back or watching it back, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Here, the tracker's kind of sus, but thanks anyway. And thanks for restreaming GPS.
Hey, our tracker actually did his task. So
Good.
I'm not venting. I didn't see him go for a vent either, so it's all good.
I'm pretty sure he was in an event at the very end there. I don't know, but
All right.
it says takes a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, GG's to both of you, Zilch and Actual JP. I look forward to seeing you in the top 16, Zilch, and I guess your final race, JP, in about 12 hours time, roughly.
Yeah, just about 12 hours.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you guys for spending your Friday evening with us.
Absolute pleasure.
thanks, guys.
No, cheers. And with that, we are done with this our stream here on Free Enterprise. We are going to hit it over to RPG Limit Break because I believe they're going towards the tail end of that race there. I would like to remind you, if you're going to join that raid, please do not spoil the results of this race. Some people do want to go back and watch this, and for also this was a very good one to come back and watch.
Yes.
I would also like to thank my co-commentator, Commander Leonhardt, because this was a very fun one to commentate with and talk things through.
Yeah, completely agree. Absolute pleasure to be in the booth with you and Phineas. Thank you very much for being here. Again, Trino, Gundam Pilot, thanks for taking care of everything behind the scenes. And away we go.